is Steven Seagul. Friends call me Steve. And yeah, I played Seagull number 2 in Vagina Guitars. You know, we grew up together, same area, same neighborhoods and all that. But yeah, he reached out more recently because he said he just needed like some background for the video or something. So I thought, hell yeah, you know, I've been out here, I've been grinding, I've been struggling, you know, putting the name out there, getting it out there, if you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I was super stoked when he told me he needed some birds in this. So I figured, you know, at the beach, you know, that's kind of where I hang, you know, that's kind of my hood. So yeah. Yeah, overall it was a really cool time that we had, cool experience, you know, chilling with all them. Even I was just some bird who was just, you know, in the background. You know, you go into these wondering, you know, what the other people are gonna be like, and you know, so they were really chill. You know, it was a good time, good vibes, and it's cool to shoot something, you know, where you live. You know, just down at the pier or at the beach. You know, so felt like I was in my own backyard. You know, what I'm talking about. So yeah, being out there, it's a little. You know, you get over the embarrassment of like being out there in front of all your friends too, and they're trying to like swoop in, and you know, but you gotta really hold it down and make sure that, you know, they see you as a professional, which, you know, that's all I'm trying to do is just, you know, build up the name. Yeah, you know, so like I've been out here for about 7 or 8 years now, I would say. And it's been, I don't know, it's been a journey. It's been a long journey. Some squandered opportunities, you know what I mean? But yeah, you know, I went through a rough patch when I came up here, you know, kind of ended up in the wrong flocks, you know, if I'm talking about. So like, yeah, I got pretty big into like the party scene, the drug scene, and you know, there's a bit there where that was all I really cared about. But you know, had a really good time with all that, and but yeah, I've mostly just been, you know, hanging around different waterways and areas, you know, in the town. Yeah, it was just going crashing from like friends' pad to nests and all this other stuff, and it was a pretty dark time for me overall. You know, you go to bed not knowing, or maybe sometimes not even hoping that, you know, you're waking up in the sand the next morning, and but you know, it's these people that give you a chance. That's all I'm looking for. Really, it's just a chance, you know, to get back into this, and you know, just chase what I love, my dreams and all that. So shooting on location, you know, at the pier and all that, you know, it's crazy because like that's a spot where I would sometimes go for a lot of my meals, you know, digging through the trash and anything that, you know, people had left out, or if they just like, if people like were at the beach and they weren't looking at their shit, you know, that's where I was getting a lot of my food, you know, swooping in and just kind of taking stuff, sometimes like right out of people's hands, you know, if they're just walking down the boardwalk with like a hot dog or something like that. That was one of my favorite things to do. And you know, I can reflect on that now, and I realize like, you know, man, that wasn't good, but that's where I was at for a long time. So we're back on the straight and narrow. Like I said, you know, it's been It's been a pretty wild path to get here, and you know, I was in a bad spot for a while, and just the fact that, you know, he thought to reach out, you know, I really appreciated that. 'Cause like I said, you know, we're not like super tight or nothing, but you know, this was great, you know, and you remember like why you're doing all this, and yeah, it was just like a fun project. Yeah, nothing really major to plug for me. Just check me out on socials, at Steven _ and yeah, besides that, thanks for tuning in, and really hope you enjoy the video.